Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast. This is your host, Matt Brown. Here we are back again on Why Not Wednesday, week 4, or I guess I was just saying my 4th Why Not Wednesday on the channel. Y'all are killing it with the questions. This question I'm about to answer here, my first question, I seen a couple days ago on my TikTok, but I will just say if you want your questions answered here on the pod, make sure to fire it into my socials or even in the comments if you guys want. My socials are at Talk of the Town _pod. I'll make sure I'll leave it in the description for you guys. So yeah, let's get into it. First question today I have is again, I said a little bit ago about how I seen this question the other day on TikTok for me. This is a passionate question for me. Let me just read it. Hey Matt, do you play video games? And if so, are they sports games? If you do, what would you rank NBA 2Ks in order? And when it comes to 2K, 2K is a lot of me and my friend's childhood. I'm just trying to get this real quick. I've been playing 2K since 2K10. Of course, I can't find the disc, but I got 2K12. So sometimes I feel like, especially with my rankings, or not my rankings, but when people rank 2Ks, I see them say a lot of times in the comments, well, there's no way you ever played this game. I'm just saying. I got the Jay-Z edition of 2K13 right here. I've been playing 2K for 15 years. Excuse me. For 15 plus years at this point. Trust me. I've won some of these games. I know. Trust me. I'm a Baldo when it comes to 2K. You may not agree with my list. I do got some controversial ones on here, especially my number 1, but you'll see. Number 10, I have 2K25, this year's 2K. While I don't play as much Xbox as I used to back in the day, I mean, I still play a decent bit to hop on for fun. And I definitely still do play 2K25. 2K25 is just garbage. It's garbage. It's actually so bad. My team, at least they brought back the auction house. I give them credit for that. But the other day, I went to go buy a takeover card. I bought this Go Joel Embiid that I was wanting to use. I had a diamond shoe ready to put a takeover on, so I could go in Triple Threat Park with my friends and I have a good takeover on him. But you know what? No, I go and buy it for 4K MT, and it feels like I have to wait 45 minutes to use the card because I have to wait for it to pen in the auction house. It's pending for what feels like an hour. And by the time it's done, I'm off the game and I hop back on hours later the next day. It's just point. I don't know. It's so aggravating when I buy something with the auction house and I can't just use it right away. Like I can't imagine buying a Go Wemby or something off the auction house and you have to wait 45 minutes to use the card. I don't know the exact timing, but it feels like a long time. It's at least a half an hour. It has to be. It has to be. If you know it, leave it in the comments, but it literally feels like an eternity. The RNG shooting, which 2K's always had RNG to an extent with their shooting, but to this year is just dialed up to the max. It feels like it's extremely frustrating shooting in that game. Whether you're a meter shooter or not, a lot of people shoot with no meter. I get it. Meter's terrible in that game. That's why I feel bad for players who are trying to learn the game and have to shoot with a meter. Whether you're tempo shoot or not, the meter is so bad. The arrow, I don't know who thought of that. I don't know. I actually don't know anyone who uses the dial, or I don't even know the other ones. But yeah, 2K25 is a monstrosity to the franchise. In fairness, though, maybe we needed a year so bad that next year's 2K actually looks good. 2K26, I'm seeing a lot of the leaks for the player builder and stuff like that. 2K26 actually looks good. I'm actually pretty excited to play it. So maybe 2K25 was a blessing in disguise. I don't know. I don't know. But at number 9, I have 2K24, last year's game as well. Mainly the reason why I put this there, the game wasn't necessarily bad gameplay-wise. Like I take depending on like the shooting and stuff like that, I take over 25. 25 is the worst shooting year ever. But 24 just brought nothing to the franchise. It will be, and already is, the most forgotten 2K. 2K24 brought nothing at all. Now, I mean that when I say it. My team, taking away the auction house was already just a massive L. The fan base pretty much rioted over that and didn't play. I don't even know anyone who actually grinded 2K24 My Team. I literally don't know a soul. I know a lot of creators quit playing My Team. That's one of the things with 2K now. Is a lot of the old creators are just not there for the game anymore, which kills it. I don't know the last time I watched like a 2K video from an old creator I used to watch because they don't play anymore or they hate playing it. That's where 2K24 really felt like it was a nail in the coffin for that stuff. Because some of them were kind of still sticking around for 23, especially 22 and stuff. But, 24, taking the auction house away in My Team. And not only was it the scammiest, it was the scummiest My Team. It just low-key scum of the earth. They made you grind cards that took forever to get, that wasn't even worth getting. And you end up having to buy MT with money. And it's just, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that game because it's pointless. Again, the game was pointless. It brought nothing to the franchise. Is 2K18. Growing up is realizing 2K18 was not that bad. I would take 2K18 over 24 and 25 any day of the week. While the stretches and that were just broken in that game. They were broken. But every game has broken builds. That's what people talk about. Oh, God, the stretches. And honestly, every game is just broken. It's 2K17, the glass cleaners. Do you not remember how annoying that was? Glass cleaners shooting from mid-court? No, bro. I don't know. 2K18, it had a good My Team as well. The My Team was actually pretty solid in that game. I'm going to say, though, yeah, the gameplay left some to be desired. It was low-key brutal to play. Regardless, that's really annoying aspects in that game. Really annoying. It was just you want a game to have fun. And while every game has its annoying moments, that game was annoying to play a lot of the times. That's why it's ranked so low, because it was annoying. Number 7, I have 2K21. A game people see so hard with rose-tinted glasses, bro. Like, this game was not good. This game was not. I was almost debating it, putting it lower than 2K18. Honestly, just because I don't want people rioting against me, even though they probably still will, they'll feel like this game is too low. 21 Next Gen might be the worst 2K ever. And a lot of people know that. I'm not going to put it on there because I had to count current gen too. And everyone was playing current gen over next gen at the time because current gen was miles better. But that's saying something because current gen was buns. Current gen was terrible for 21 still. I remember in the beginning of the game, it was a Power DF. I got posted on his YouTube channel. I haven't played the game in 2 months at that point because the first month of the game, not a soul could shoot that game. Not a soul. I remember playing with my friend on there, and it was like the first day of the game. Bro, I think I shot like 3 for 45, and the guys on the other team were shooting. No, never mind. That was another time I'm going to explain here in a minute. But the other guys on the team, the entirety of the game, it was like maybe 14 for what was 92 shooting. It was awful. I literally, I have a picture of my camera roll somewhere. It's not on my phone now, but one of my old phones. We each shot like 2 for 28 or 30, 34 or something. It was insane. It was insane. And then they buffed the shooting, and everyone could shoot, and you couldn't contest anything. Intimidator didn't matter anymore, and post scores were just, every 2K has that little period where post scores are just broken. But it was way too imbalanced. It just felt like periods and periods of the game. There was just the game never felt balanced. It never did. Usually 2K balances itself out. Like at the beginning of the year, no one can shoot. I'm not going to necessarily just hold that against the game. Although that game in particular really felt like the worst. But I don't know. No, 2K21 can stay away. Next Gen brings that game down too. It was regarded as probably the worst. It was bad. 6, I had 2K23. A game I was kind of debating on putting it maybe a spot higher. But again, one thing that really, really brings that game down for me so bad was the dunk meter. I stopped playing Park for a while because I'm a center. Every time someone ringed the dunk meter, you were just getting put on the ground and stepped over every possession. I was at least having that happen to me 4 times a game. No matter what, you couldn't defend the dunk meter. The dunk meter ruined that entire game. We used to have massive groups of my friends. We'd play All-Star Team Up. Rest in peace, All-Star Team Up, by the way. They need to bring that back in next gen because people did not realize how much we played All-Star Team Up, me and my friend group. It's insane. We had to ban dunk meter. We had to ban it. We literally had to ban it because it's just so bad. Although I did like the gameplay of that game. I like the meters weren't bad, comment, stuff like that. Again, no meter shooting. I get it. Rules is king, it's king. But, 2K23 kind of left something to me to decide. My team, I take all the things into account because I'm a big time my team player too. And if you don't play my team and you're a my career grinder, I grind both, to be honest with you. But 2K23 is my team. But again, drags it down. I take that into account. My team sucked so bad in that game. It was terrible. But the gameplay of the game, it really wasn't that bad besides the dunk meter ruined the entire game. It didn't. To me, it ruined it. I hated it, especially as a big man. If you're a point guard and you're using dunk meter or shooting guard, small forward, whatever, and you're using dunk meter all the time, and you don't have to worry about necessarily getting dunked on as much as the center does, especially when you're playing rec, and you got to play in the paint if you're not on a shooting center. Your team's getting torched by dunk meter. Yeah, bro. It's not fun. That was not fun. Number 5, one people are probably going to aim me for is 2K20. 2K19, but worse. It's only, again, rose-tinted glasses. It's a top 5 game, but it's not the GOAT. I see people trying to argue this is the GOAT game. No. The game, to me, it played clunky. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was not as smooth as 2K19 was. It was literally a copy and paste, to be honest with you. The neighborhood was the exact same. I mean, the builder and everything was different, of course. You had the pie charts being introduced, stuff like that. The My Team was pretty fun. That was the first introduction of GOAT cards. Again, controversial in the state of My Team. What it's done to it is kind of, over time in the franchise, has really ruined it. But at the time of it coming out, you guys remember the Spotlight Sim challenges? Dude, those were actually fun to grind in My Team. Remember I grinded for the Opal Paul Pierce. I was one of the first people to get Marc Gasol out of the Spotlight Sims. That was pretty fun. And the content, man, the My Team content creators at the time, I'm taking everything into account. That even the content creators in Park, dude, it was so fun to watch. The gameplay just didn't feel on par as the last couple of years. Remember the rebounding wing? One of the most broken builds in 2K history. That build was ridiculous. I hated that build. And again, every single game you played, there was a rebounding wing on the court. I had a couple friends with a rebounding wing. I get it. It's fun playing with it, but I can't get myself to use that. It did definitely have its flaws. You remember going deaf every time a legend would go in the park and the helicopter would be in there? That was actually annoying. That was annoying, especially at the end of the year when you had like 5 of them. I'm pretty sure there was a glitch too to be a legend at some point. Oh, excuse me. Number 4, I have 2K22. This game is so underrated. This game was so good. 2K22, especially current gen. Again, this was still, people were playing more current gen than next gen. The next gen did not have great reviews on this game. The current gen, though, that game was so good. It really was a top tier game. I loved the shooting at that game. It felt more balanced. Now, I'll also say one thing too, that the soundtrack in that game, I really like the soundtrack in that game too. Whether you have it on or off, I really liked it that game. As well, the My Team was so fun. Me and my friends all grinded the My Team. I don't know if you guys remember that end game. Chris Webber, you had to grind the clutch time games for. Dude, that was crazy. I grinded. What we had, I think it was like spring break or something, and it was raining, and we were all in playing. I grinded that Chris Webber in a day, which was crazy. I went on a ridiculous win streak on clutch time. It was just nuts. I swear, I think I won like 40 games straight or something. It was insane. But that game, all around the builds, the shooting was great that game. The dribbling was so fluent in that game. The dribbling felt so good. The builder was fun as well. Oh, and that was the first year. Yeah, that was the first year of the GOAT vote. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my ranking a little bit. Just speaking of the first year of something being introduced, for the people back at 2K21, the 2K Beach sucked. I'm gonna say that right now. Going from the neighborhood to the 2K Beach was such an L. That was such an L. I meant to mention that when I was back on the game, but I forgot. And number 3, I have 2K16. Dude, we've really jumped into a tier of its own now. Again, you guys are probably wondering where a certain game is. You'll see here in a minute. But 2K16, we're now at the 3 that really separate itself from just like 2K22 alone. Well, 2K22 is great. We're in a different category now. We are truly in a different category of games. And if you're wondering as well, well, where's 2K12, 2K15, those games? I'm just ranking the last 10 years of 2K, of what most people would probably remember as the golden age. Not saying 2K15 isn't, but 2K12, those games are drastically different in sense of, having a neighborhood and park. Those games are different. They just are, so I'm not ranking those, but they would be high up on the list if they were up there, by the way. They would be, I'm just saying. So don't worry, I would have those high up, but I'm just ranking the last 10 years. If you play 2K16, man, that game was so good. Honestly, you can interchange the last 3. You can. I'm not going to complain. 2K17 is number 2. All-time great right there. But number 1, I have 2K19. I feel like I don't really have to explain 2K16 and 17. If you know, you know. But I have to explain putting 2K19 at number 1, which I'm going to do right now. Again, with 2K16 and 2K17, right? In terms of content creation, my team, the stuff like that, it was just starting out. It was still a baby, the my team and stuff like that. It was great, but it was still starting out. Kind of same thing with the park. The park was still flowing into its own, which in the affiliations and all, top notch, top tier. I'm not taking anything away from that. Better than the neighborhood. I get it. I give those games that. But in terms of the content creation of my team, everything being in a state of just being at its peak, I give it to 2K19 all day. You had the start of your really popular content creators. I mean, while they were playing before that, they were really getting popular in 2K16 and 17. Then 2K18, kind of the fall off was there. But 2K19, with the My Team creators, the park creators on YouTube, it all blew up there. Everyone, that's when it peaked to me. Well, it was right around there. I remember, this was my freshman year of high school. I mean, just life was just at its peak then, the year right before the pandemic. If you look it up, 2K19, or, well, 2019, was ranked as like the happiest and best year ever. That's actually a fact, by the way. I see that on like YouTube Short as well, like a couple weeks ago. But the neighborhood was so fun. The shoving was annoying, but they took shoving out though. People say, "Oh my God, the shoving ruined the game." They took shoving out like December, so there was no shoving for the last half of the game. The My Team, best My Team ever, right there. I had the Opal Shaq, the Opal Giannis for having all the collector's cards. I had everything in that game. I had literally everything. People kind of dull on the overall system not being as good as the rep system. I think the rep system is so played out, by the way. They really need to shift the rep system to me a little more. I really like the first one, the 99. I did. And if you liked it, you loved it. That's just what I mean. If you did not like it, you hated it. And don't get me wrong, it was annoying getting triple barred at 96 or 97 overall. Like, it was incredibly annoying, but man, it was so fun. It gave you a reason to grind. Because when you repped up, you got your overall. When you hit 99, and you had the gold outline, you got the mascots. Yeah, oh my gosh, it was so fun. That game was so fun. I've never had fun on a game quite like 2K19. I used to go into this guy Blazes Live. He was one of the first 99 overalls. He used to run tournaments on the twos in the park. Guys surrounding it everywhere. You never see that anymore. You never see anyone surrounding a court. Man, everyone would surround courts if there was a celebrity or anyone in the game in their park. It was so much fun. I stand by it. 2K19, in terms of the peak of content creation, the peak of my team. You can argue the peak of Park. I get it if you want to say affiliations. I did like affiliations better. But the neighborhood, the neighborhood was so good, especially because 2K20 was a copy and paste, but to me, it was not as good. The builder was so fun. The playmaking sharps. I'm sure you guys missed that. The stretches were still broken. But man, it was so fun to play. It just had a quality of life, the dribbling, the shooting that the other games just did not quite have, besides like 16 and 17. Of course, they had that quality of life to it. But 2K19 is the go-2K for me. Just peak. It was just the peak. It felt like the peak to me. So yeah, that's my 2K list. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say about it. I'm probably going to get flamed for it. So yeah, let's get into the next question. Next question, we have, hey man, keep up the good work. I really like your vids. I have one question for you. Are the Knicks going to be contenders going into this year? And I appreciate you, by the way. Thank you. Oh, absolutely. The East is weak. The East is weak. Whether or not you agree with them firing Tom Thibodeau is up to you. I don't necessarily agree with it, but there's a lot of mixed reviews on it. In terms of their roster, though, they need more bench depth for sure. I love KAT. They're a great offensive team. Bridges is an amazing defender, one of the best defenders in the league. People can get on him for his inconsistent shooting, but he's one of the more overhated players. People like him and they recognize him, but man, when he's a bad game, they do not let him near the end of it. Yeah, between the Celtics not having Tatum, I think that Celtics are still going to be good, but they're not going to be what they were before this year, obviously. Indiana not going to have Halliburton. The Cavs are going to be good, but can the Cavs really win a championship, though? We'll see. The West is more of the story. I think whoever comes out of the West is going to win the NBA Finals. The West feels way stronger than the East. Definitely they're contenders in the East, but in terms of the NBA, I don't know. We'll see. Brunson's one of the best players in the league, one of the best scorers for sure. KAT's one of the best shooting big men in NBA history. Bridges, I love. Anunoby, they have a really good roster down there. They need a little more depth, but we'll see. I think that's a team who's at least going to make the second round, the semifinals. I think they're going to make the conference finals. Now, whether or not they make the finals, the Cavs, I think the 76ers are going to be a lot better. A lot of that depends on Joel Embiid's health, though, which is not looking good, though. So we'll see. But yeah, I think the Knicks could absolutely be contenders this year, especially in the East. They're going to be contenders in the East. 100%. I think they're going to be competing for the number one seed in the East. Milwaukee kind of feels like a toss-up, especially after that losing game. They have Giannis in his prime, like Miles Turner. Those two down there are going to be pretty devastating on defense. But outside of that, Kyle Kuzma, he was terrible last year when he went to Milwaukee. And he had a Tony Snell game. Yeah, I don't know. The Knicks feel like one of the stronger teams. There's no doubt they're a playoff team. So yeah, I think they could be. Next question. Do you think the NFL is ever going to have Super Bowl games in international countries? That's a good question. I'll just answer this. Maybe. I don't, not as of, or not to be recent. Or in the near future, no. Let me just say that. I can't see it. I don't really know where, unless he'd have it in the UK, if I assumed, or like Australia. The fan base is all here. You know, they always sell out stadiums. This is where the majority of their fan base is. Even though they're trying to spread out the NFL to other countries, they're doing a lot more international games. Let's hope they don't have a Super Bowl in Brazil. Because do you remember watching that Packers and Eagles game in Brazil last year? They're having another one this year somehow, after seeing the players have slip and break their knees every single possession, or break their legs and snap their knees. Oh, gosh. And I've ruined Jordan Love's season in that game then. Horrible. The only place I can see it is like in the UK or something. Unless they were to go and build their own stadium in Brazil. Maybe one day, but in the near future, no. And they're not going to. Especially with a lot of these newer stadiums being upgraded here in the United States, and the Buffalo Bills are getting a new stadium. Las Vegas having their new stadium. Just SoFi Stadium alone in LA, they could host 100 Super Bowls there. I think they'd host 10 Super Bowls there before they hosted one in the UK or anywhere else in the world. You know, if you guys think there'd be somewhere, you know, you think they would, let me know in the comments, but I can't see it right now. You know, because they're still branching out just their normal games into other countries, more or less the Super Bowl. I can't see that happening in the near future. Maybe in our lifetime there will be, though. Who knows? Last question today. Hey, I see you doing your own podcast. I'm proud of you. This is a question for your podcast. How is it being a small content creator and having a podcast? I would like to start one day. It can be tough at times. And not just having your own podcast, but just for YouTubers in general. I watch a lot of videos of how to start up a channel, you know, how to keep grinding, stuff like that. For me, it's different because this is a dream of mine. And I think any content creator, it's a dream of theirs being a content creator, but it depends on what they do. I've always just wanted to have a sports show, be able to be a sports host somewhere, whether it's like a Stephen A. Smith role on ESPN or, you know, wherever. Skip Bayless having his own show, the Colin Cowherd show, anything like that I love. But the thing is with the radio and stuff like that, it's just dying. Shows and stuff in general. You're going to start seeing a lot of people move into doing podcasts. A lot of those guys do their own podcast now. It's their own thing, their own schedule. That's a benefit with having your own podcast. You can do this whenever you want. If you feel like only uploading 3 times a week, you upload 3 times a week. You know, you get to make your own schedule, whatever you want to do. Excuse me. But the only problem I'd say with it is staying consistent and posting on your socials and stuff like that when you're not making any money. You're taking a lot of time doing stuff, of course, and of course you have to have a second hustle, especially if you're not making any money doing podcasts. You have to be doing something else. So you're spending a lot of your time doing podcasts and your main job at the time, whatever you're doing. It's hard. And it can be hard, especially, like I said, when you're not making any money doing it. You don't have a consistent cash flow. You know, if you're sitting here, you could do this all day. If you could just at the start trash your job and you're making consistent money doing this, it'd be no issue going out posting on your socials and posting on YouTube every day, long form content. But it's tough because this stuff takes years to blow up. It can take years. You know, you have your instances, what is it, Evan Chamberlain and stuff, where they blow up, it seems like overnight. It's hard. It rarely happens. A lot of these guys you look, it takes them years to blow up on YouTube or whatever they do. But it happens. As long as you keep posting and doing it, you're going to blow up. That's the thing with this career, is you just have to be patient. You do. Because it will pay off. All of these guys who do it, they've been doing it a long time. It pays off every single time they do it. You'll get your niche. You'll get your your viewers. You'll get it. It happens every time. You stay consistent with your podcast, but it could take 2 or 3 years before you see real growth. 2 or 3 years, and you have to keep reminding yourself of that. And it can be hard, especially when you want it to be your main thing, And it takes a lot of time. It can take a lot of time between editing and recording and stuff like that. It can be tough. It definitely has its cons, especially, on your mental state, but you have to stay strong. See if it's something you're passionate about. I'm passionate about this, and it can be hard sometimes. I go up and I see, damn, this video is not doing as well. But then you look a week later and I see also my video has 60 views and it's just getting even better. I have a couple of videos with over 100 some views on it. So it just takes time. I seen this one video I was watching. It could take 6 months for your video to blow up. Six plus months. All of a sudden you look at, well, why does this video have a couple thousand views on it? It takes 6 months to set the algorithm. You have to remember that when you're first starting. This stuff takes time. It's not going to blow up your first 2 weeks of doing it. That's what a lot of people quit, is in their first month, because they're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm still getting 10 views or whatever. I'm posting this on my social media, and they stop. You have to stay on the grind. For me, I have literally no intentions of ever stopping. I've always wanted my own sports show. It's what I wanted to be my whole career. It's what I was going to go to college for, was to be a sports show host. Why not do it now on my own podcast? Just get started. Whatever you're doing, if you're planning on getting started something in your podcast and you're waiting for the perfect time to start it, that time's never, ever going to come. The perfect time is never going to come, whether you're starting a podcast, a business, anything. Just start it. Just get it started. And that's what you can do with a podcast. It's just to start it. Don't talk. You can talk yourself out of anything. Just start doing it. Start producing content. Start making videos. Yeah, that's what other content creators say, is just start it. Start it. Produce content every day or however many times you can, and just keep producing videos. It'll blow up. That's what you got to tell yourself that every day. That's why I tell myself that. This stuff will blow up eventually. It is what it is. I'm nearing 100 subscribers. I love it. I absolutely love it. So that's it for Why Not Wednesday today. You guys have great questions. I love hearing your questions. Again, if you guys have any questions you want answered here on the pod, the link's in the description below. At talkofthetown_pod. All my socials, fire in those questions. I answer them here every Wednesday here on the podcast. So thank you guys for another great week of Why Not Wednesday. And I will see you guys on the next pod.